Ladies and Gentiles, it is I, Dick Thunderlips, here for the Week 7 Recaparoo, folks. You see, Heroes of Fantasy, we are entering the stretch run. Now is the time to make the moves, solidify the lineups, and get those dubs in place so that you can make the playoffs and win that Heroes of Fantasy Championship belt. Because you know, J-Sax ain't keeping it this year, baby. Ho ho! Without further ado, let's get right into the action from week 7. Oh, here we go. Let's take a look at here, right in the middle of the action, as we see Rock Bottom, Ricky G, Rick Heron facing Zachariah, Zach Dawson, fits in the tantrums, still throwing tantrums, folks. Zach falls to 0-7 as Ricky G puts up a great week at a buck 37.9, as Zach continues to struggle at 93, folks. Zach, I don't know what's going on. The wheels will come off, baby. And as you'll see here, not all of it is his fault. As we dig in, Garner Minshew would drop a 19, still doing his job. But boy, 6 points from Zeke. You know, Zeke's got to eat. The Cowboys look like total trash, and that ain't helping Zach one bit, folks. No. Ronald Jones, a big disappointing day with 10 points. Don't know what's going on in Tampa Bay anymore. They're just like as random as possible with Tom Brady. 14 points for Larry Fitz in an outburst for him, folks. He's been a letdown all year. Finally, a better than solid day from Larry. Only 7 from Levitska and 8 from Jimmy Graham, 3 from Greg Olson, and you don't like to see this, folks. Only 7 from the Chargers, and Brandon Ayuk with a big day of 17. Zach just lackluster performances all around the board. Dude's trying, he's got him in there. You don't like that he's got 2 underperforming tight ends in the lineup, but a man's got to do what a man's got to do when he's got bye weeks and he's got some other poo-poo on the bench, folks. It's not been a pretty year for Zach, but let's see how Ricky G put up all these points, folks. You see, let's start things off with Cam Newton, negative 0.18. Is this right? Okay, yeah. All right. So let's see. Basically, 31 from James Robinson and 0.8 for Devonta Freeman. Devontae Adams, meanwhile, scored 44. Okay, 17 from Julio Jones, 6 from Noah Fant, 17 from Tyreek Hill, 11 from Allen Robinson, and 8 from the Cleveland Browns D. Dude, how do you score negative with your quarterback, less than 1 with your running back, and still score 137 points, folks? That's a hootenanny if I've ever seen one. Ricky G's trade he did last week is clearly trying to sabotage his season. If you didn't know, folks, he acquired Cam Newton as well as Eric Ebron securely on his bench here. And that, I don't even know what's going on here, folks. This is crazy. What's wrong with Cam Newton? I don't know. The Patriots looked like trash this week, but Ricky G prevailed somehow, even with Chase Edmonds on the bench dropping 21 points, folks. Anyway, Ricky G's team's looking good. He can go pick up a dead body at quarterback in free agency and somehow scored more points, folks. Now, moving right along here. Sorry, Zach. He'll pick up a dub eventually, I hope. Gronk's Pirates. Aldo was on a streak, and he ran straight into Tyree. And both these teams said, you know what? We're going to do mediocre. We're going to have shitty-ass weeks, and may the worst man win. And that man was Tyree. He's going to still name this team later. As Aldo's hot streak ends, he falls 93 to 87 in a battle of ineptitude. Aldo got the performances you expect from Deshaun Watson, a little underwhelming from Derrick Henry, still worth 15. 11 from Malcolm Brown, a big juicy 15 from AJ Green, and then the wheels fall off along with the Dallas Cowboys. You got 0.1 from CeeDee Lamb, you had 1 from Mike Williams, you got 1 from Demarcus Robinson, you got 1 from the Saints, with a 16.9 DJ Hawkinson in between. Now, dude had a lot of buys this week, and Chubb on the bench, not on the IR. He's not actually hurt, but he's not doing anything in Cleveland. And so, I don't know. It was just it's a rough week for Aldo, putting up 80, upper 80s. That's a toughie, folks. CeeDee Lamb looks like the luster's gone as the Dallas Cowboys look like a bunch of pieces of crap. But meanwhile, on the other side, Tyree picks up a lucky dub. Normally 93 is a surefire L, lock it in, but not this week, folks. Carson Wentz still performing out of his mind with 27. Daryl Henderson, lackluster day with 9. Boston Scott filling in with 18 for the injured RB there in Philly. Amari Cooper, the only Cowboy, somehow not being affected by this, folks. Andy Dalton scored crap, CeeDee Lamb, even Zeke. But Amari Cooper dropping 15 somehow. Don't know how. Keelan Cole, just a terrible day with only 2 points. 6 for Travis Kelce and a very underwhelming day. And that follows the trend as Jonnu Smith puts up 1, 8 for Damian Harris, and 4 for the Seahawks D. Not much to do on the bench, but hey, Tyree got the dub. Still misses Papa Adrian. The team still looks okay, but folks, you don't like these lackluster weeks going into the home stretch. Chins up, boys. Get those lineups in, and maybe next week the scoring will come around like it did for Adrian. Holy crap, Zola. L on the losing streak here, folks, as L's Avengers fall 114 to 161. Folks, L wishes he played one of those last 2 jabrones to pick up a dub. Instead, he gets shit on. He bared his chest. Adrian spread those cheeks and let it rip for 161 as he goes to 5-2. Adrian telling Tyree, come back to daddy. And what the flip is this? Anyway, we'll get to that later. L's Avengers, meanwhile, you got Mahomie only dropping 12. A terrible performance, despite his team scoring 43 points. J.D. McKissick with 7. Houston Jackson with 10. You don't like to see these nobodies there. They're doing it, though. 9 points for Traquan Smith, 7 for Tim Patrick. Only 10 for Kittle, 17 for Samuel. 22 for Cole Beastly, folks. 18 for the Niners D. And on the bencharoo, you got a couple performers. Oddly enough, folks, this is where I'm not sure what's going on with L's team. He'll get C-Mac back eventually here. And John Brown just didn't play. I don't know. The rest of this team, though, it's patchwork sometimes, folks. But L might be dangerous down the stretch. He would have liked to see a dub this week. I'm sure Crystal's still controlling his team, though. So she sure can't wait to get C-Mac back. Meanwhile, for Adrian, Matthew Stafford dropping 18. Gurley, 22. Looking like a number 1 pick. Where did that come from? Gio Bernard with 20. Woof. 25 for DJ Moore. 22 for Scary Terry. 17 for Darren Waller. 14 for James Terminator Connor. And 21.4 by Jamal Williams. In a huge game for that backup RB in Green Bay. And this dude didn't put in the defense for some god-known reason. Had he played his defense like he's supposed to, he would have scored 16 more points. Mother Maria and Joseph, what were you doing, Adrian? So we're going to follow this theme here because there's apparently 2 boneheads in our league. But we'll just lock it right here. The former champ, Adrian, apparently doesn't know to put in the defense. And if he's going to be like, hey, yo, man, just in case they didn't score negative. Dude, you won by 60 points. And let me tell you, defenses can't score negative in our league. Jabron, Mother Maria, and Joseph. Anywho, Adrian looking like a powerhouse if his dudes do that every week. Congrats going on the stretch run, looking good. And hey, if you missed the playoffs by 16 points, you deserve it, Jabron. Anyway, let's get this ass clownery out of the way as we tune into a real heartbreaker here, folks. You see Freddie on a tear, trying to get ready for that stretch run, only to run into the former champion, Jay Sizzle himself. And what worse way to go out than by less than a point? Actually, it's a little more than a point. But 115.4 to 116.3 is about as close as you can get, folks. A real heartbreaker. Let's see where this went wrong. Ryan Tannehill on Freddie's side dropped 17, 13 for Clyde Edward-Helaire. Mike Davis, disappointing day with 8.6. Juju was 17, outperforming his life right now. Deontay Johnson, meanwhile, all of a sudden decides to be the Pittsburgh receiver to play. And Chase Claypool, they have reverse rolled, folks. Freddie riding the Steeler receiver carousel. I can't believe this dude played 3 Steelers receivers. What is he doing? Marvin Jones with 13, Evan Ingram with 10, the Giants for 5, 17 for Randall Cobb, 15 for Greg Ward, and Prescott in Thielen on bye, folks. This is where you live by the sword, you die by the sword, folks. You want to diversify your bonds, you want to diversify your fantasy players. Freddie's like, no, I got this, boo. I'm gonna deploy all on the wide receivers on the Pittsburgh Steelers and get something out of them. And he did, in fairness. If you combine all three together, divide by three, they scored decently. The problem is you're liable to see that goose egg you saw right here for the other guys to be able to do well. So, ugh. Sadly, if Freddie had gone with the normal plan of only playing the good ones, the guy that scored 29 probably would have been on his bench because this dude's like the third or fourth receiver on the team. Anyway, scooting right over to Jay Sizzle's team. Matt Ryan dropping 17, 19 for Kareem Hunt, still looking like the man in Cleveland. Joshua Kelly with 10, 17 for Galladay, 10 for Stephon Diggs in between his concussions. Gronk still looking like a man at 17, a real renaissance for Gronk. I bet Danny Boy's real happy about that. DJ Shark, looking like a baby with only 3. Normally, J-Sex carried by Baby Shark. Hunter Hoonery with only 5, and the Buffalo D with 15. The real story here is that Jay Sizzle now playing Tom Brady, who scored 30 million points on his bench. It didn't matter because he won by 1, but hoot and holler, baby. Oh, what a mistake that would have been. Michael Thomas. Sorry, Dick almost lost himself right there. Oh, Steve's staged right off. Look at that. Stayed right on, baby. That's because it's real. It's a real stash. Anyway, yeah, Jay Sex did what he could, one by one. Freddie could have won had he known what Steeler receivers to play. I know it's a tough call, man. Tough outing overall. Can't fault either side. Mediocre scores overall. Jay Sizzle keeps those hopes alive with the dub. Freddie, heartbreaking loss. And we scoot right along, folks, to Danny Boy prevailing over Matthew J. Segovia. Matt was playing for Pinks. Matt said if he wins this week, we're trading teams, Jack. And, Danny Boy didn't agree or disagree, so I guess silence is acceptance, and that would have happened. But luckily, Danny Boy won $130 to 113. Solid outing for sorry about your damn luck, Matt Segovia. Let's take a look why. Aaron Rodgers remembering that he's a fucking quarterback, dropping 27 instead of like 3. Don't know what happened last week, folks, but he got his panties in order and dropped 27. 22, welcome back, Alvin Kamara, carrying Danny Boy's team and the difference maker in this one for sure. 18 for Gibson. Cooper Kupp filling it up with 11.9. 13 for Brandon Cooks, still cooking with that new coach. And the tight end woes continue with only 2.7 from the Anthony Frisker. It doesn't matter what his name is. He's a piece of fucking trash. 16 points for David Johnson. 7 for Deshaun Jackson. In what I was told is an accidental deployment because Danny Boy forgot the Eagles played on Thursday. Congratulations. Also, 10 points from the Eagles defense. Meanwhile, on the bench, the good lucky benching of Julian Edelman, 2.3. He picked the right tight end of the 2 he owned, apparently, because Higbee dropped a goose egg and didn't play at all. And newly acquired Corey Davis, which supposedly was going to be in for Deshaun Jackson, dropped 15. Luckily, it didn't matter because Danny Boy picked up the dub. Matt Segovia's team, meanwhile, did what they could, mainly on the back of Justin Herbert. The Herbert Terror did a 38.4, folks. A ridiculous performance. Tried to single-handedly put Matt on his back and take him to another dub, folks, but just couldn't get it done. And mainly because Kenyon Drake just couldn't get any traction, only dropping 5 points. Had Matt gotten a big day out of Drake, he could have picked up the dub in this one. Mikal Pirene with 13 points. Chris Godwin with 23 before he kind of hurt himself. And I think he's okay, though, folks. I think he's okay. 12 points for Travis Fulgham for Philly. Still doing better than Deshaun Jackson. And Deshaun Jackson's dead again, so what else is new? Meanwhile, the tight end woes are on the other side of the board, too, as Tanyan only drops 5 points, Jarvis Landry with 10, and Darius Slayton with a disappointing 4. And can I tell you, folks, it doesn't show here, but Matt had previously dropped the Cardinals' defense because he didn't want to score negative with his defense. There was just no one there. And I'm like, dude, again, can't score negative. And Matt said, oh, okay. Step one of winning the fantasy title: know the rules, folks. Matt knows. Tyree won it without knowing. Go figure. So we see two jabrones not playing defenses this week. Folks, get a defense in. It doesn't matter if they're the doldrums of the league. They could score you a point. They could never kill you. Unlike Cam Newton, who can score you negative something, baby. Woof, woof. Anyway, this is also that Matt could sneak Antonio Brown and a hope and a dream onto his team. The Colts D, though, looking sexy. That's a good pickup from Matt. Moving forward, folks. Anyway, Danny Boy marching on with a big dub after last week's super depressing, shitty ass week, folks. Matt Segovia is still looking for win number 2. Don't worry, you're way better than Zach. Moving right along here. Speaking of the oh boy. Free falling, man. Speaking of free falling, you got Nara Moore, Flash Gordon, dropping only 95 points in a week where he needed way more, folks. I mean, if you're gonna score like shit, you may as well get shit on, folks. On the other end, Professor drops $155. He would have beat almost every other team except for Adrian. And, whatever, man. He'll take it. It helps in the standings. It helps with tiebreakers. Every point matters. The dude goes to 3-4. Oscarito, Professor. Naramore drops to 5-2. Let's take a look at Naramore's side. A real heartbreaker not breaking a hundy. Josh Allen with 16. Josh Jacobs with only 6. And AJ Dillon, I don't even know why he's playing the extra Green Bay RBs. You gotta do what you gotta do in a panicky week, folks. But this is why you stack a Pinell right here when you get some real lackluster play from your star, baby. Will Fuller still dropping in 12. Gabriel Davis, why is he playing these dudes? 2 points. 12 from Hayden Hurst. Look at that tight end doing something. Debo Samuel with 12. 6 from the backup RB of New Orleans, Latavius Murray. And 26 from the Chiefs. This is fucking sad. Still, let me call Steven. Steven, Naramore, hello. I am talking on a remote controller. How'd you know? I'm calling to tell you that you played a bunch of jabrones, and I don't know why. I guess we'll take a look at your bench in a sec. But, if the Chiefs' defense didn't go off and nut for 26 points, you would have scored like 40, man. Next. All right, fine. Aaron Jones on the bench. We knew the man didn't play. Ingram's trash anyway. Alexander Madison on bye. Yeah, Sterling Shepard has a pulse, dude. Who the fuck is Gabriel Davis? Jamison Crowder. To have the clairvoyance, this dude has played Crowder every fucking week. And somehow he's like, you know what, I'm just not going to play him this week. And it's like he knew. He must have been hurt. I'm give him too much credit. Let's see. Load it up. Limited. Whatever, man. Crowder must have been hurt. Naramore had to do what he had to do, which is why you saw some of these jabrones in there. I don't know, man. This all looks ugly. Naramore cleaning up. Meanwhile, Oscarito, Derek Carr dropping 19. Chris Carson with only 5. But boy, it didn't matter because Oscar went off anyway. 12 for Melvin Gordon. 50 fucking 3 for Tyler Lockett. Oh my stars and garters with that. Jeeves, Jiminy Cricket. How do you score 53 points? That is the highest scoring hot sauce game I have seen in a while. Folks, we're going to zoom it in here. Hold on your butts. Hold on your butts for this one. What in Maria, Mary, and Joseph is he doing? 15 mother flipping catches for 200 yards and 3 TDs. This dude was targeted 20 times. Who does he think he is? Brandon Marshall? Mama, Jiba, Bugaloo. I tell you, Lockett's not that good, folks. Wow. Wow. Professor's going to win the championship if this dude does that every week. T. Higgins with 18, completely overshadowed by the giant nut job on top of him, Tyler Lockett. Jared Cook with 12, though. Look at this. He's cooking 10 endpoints. Mike Evans with 5, and A.J. Brown with 27 like a man. Disappointing 2 from the Steelers D. And this dude, Bench Breeze, who dropped 23. Odell Beckham, Oscar with the clairvoyance to bench his ass, knowing that he's been so inconsistent. And Tyler Lockett's like, I'll be your number 1 wide receiver. And he ate him He took his powers, and now he's like a two men combined. And luckily, he did in time because Odell Beckham tore his ACL. Maybe he could, maybe he could run on one leg like he catches with one hand, you jabron. Little buys here. You like what you see from Leonard Fournette, though. If Fournette's gonna do this, baby, Oscar's gonna have another RB in there, and he's gonna be the team to beat, folks. This team's gonna be hot and heavy. If Tyler Lockett, look at if Mike Evans wakes up, this dude got no performance from his two best players and still scored a $155. What the flip is that about? Anyway, let me stop gushing about Professor's team and start crying about Crystal's. Maybe Crystal and L traded teams, and now L's in charge of this team. That would explain some of what I see here as Crystal falls with another L in her name. 88 points, disappointing, terrible week. To a $144 from C Jizzle, still scoring well. Let's take a C Jizzle side real quick on the right. Kyler Murray with a huge 37 and a huge dub for the Cardinals on Monday night. Devin Singletary disappointing 6, 11 from David Montgomery, 24 from D Hop, still getting it done. That's the big connection there, folks. Murray to D Hop. If they're hot, CJ scoring good, let's face it. Robert Woods disappointing 5. O'Shaughnessy, only 6. 14 from Swift, still getting it done. And a big 27 for Tyler Boyd. And let's see how 10 from the Bears D8, Shabay. And this dude, Keenan Allen's boyfriend, he loves him. George 22, and what the fuck is this? Logan Thomas scored 16. Why is he not on Danny's team? Why are Gronk and Logan Thomas scoring points now that they're not on Sorry About Your Damn Luck's team? Swear. The tight end curse continues, folks, for Danny Boy. And Sorry About Your Damn Luck. And CJ's team looking like a bunch of studs. Looking like a team to beat. Even when he gets absolutely nothing from his RBs, he's scoring lights out with the rest of those positions, folks. Is Crystal's team. Let's see where the wheels came off. Russell Wilson came back to give her 30 points. And I guess she didn't get the fucking memo that Miles Sanders wasn't playing this week. Because she just said, you know what, fuck it. And left him in there for 0. Meanwhile, she may as well have said fuck it and left Jerick McKinnon out. Because this dude scored negative 0.1. So Crystal, despite getting negative 0.1 out of 2 combined running back slots, still scored 88, which says something, folks. 19 from Calvin Ridley. Golden Tate with a respectable 10. Schultz was a bunch of Schultz with 4.2. DK Metcalf, disappointing 4 points. But boy, did he have a crazy tackle of an interception in that game, folks. 13 points from Robbie Anderson. 6 from the Buccaneer D. 20 from Christian Kirk on the bench. 7 from Jimmy G. Don't know why she's holding these QBs. It's like she just didn't even try this week, folks. 18 from the Washington D. If she would have put in the Washington D. Anyway, point is, I don't know what she's doing. I guess she just said fuck it to this week. We'll see about next. This lady doesn't have any need for these quarterbacks. Should have been picking up running backs. This isn't what you like to see, folks. Looks like she took her eye off the ball for 2 seconds, and CJ said, no, L. Crystal, this is not how you win championships. This is not how you win belts. This is not how you become a hero of fantasy. This is how you find yourself outside the playoffs looking in, and how you see the real teams like C Jizzle over here, a road warrior. Dude doesn't make many moves, never trades, but you'll never see him not put in an injured RB. Crystal, Dick is disappointed in you. That's an L type play from Crystal, folks. Dick's getting thirsty, but let's take a look at the Standaroos real quick. As expected, C Jizzle up top. 6-1 is the lone star. Crystal falls to second place at 5-2. Still a high scoring team. Meanwhile, Adrian 5-2 in third. Nara Morris in fourth at 5-2. And on the outside looking in, Danny Boy at 5-2. Last week's horrendous scoring will see him fall to the bottom of this pack, folks. Let's face it. Freddie, meanwhile, leads the 4-3s. Him and Tyree are set at 4-3. And a poop ton of 3-4s, folks. Ricky G, Oscar Reader, Aldo, and Al all sitting at 3-4 with a chance to go on a run, baby. Of heartbreakers for Aldo and Al this week, but you got to turn it around, baby. It's not too late. Look what Professor's doing. His team looks hot and heavy, folks. I'm not sure if Jay Sizzle's totally out of it, barring a miracle. We'll see. But get going, boys. This is sad down here. This is depressing. Anyway, the highest scoring team is expected still is Sea Drizzle, behind Crystal and Adrian, and then Danny Boy. Oh boy, um, Naramore is lower in scoring. Not sure why the tiebreakers don't have Danny Boy above him. Then, anyway, points against though. Still getting shit on is Zach. And the most notable shitting on is Ricky G and Oscar and L to a lesser extent, folks. These teams struggled with the records mainly because they are getting bombarded when they go up against some opponents here, folks. And you know you like to see that's the difference. Ricky G and Professor in the mix for the top scoring teams, and that's why they are in it to win it, folks. Still looking good, like they got a shot. Let's take a little preview-aroo at this week's Week 8 matchups. As Aldo needs a big dub, he needs it bad. He's going up against Danny Boy. Sorry about your damn luck, team. And what should be a real slobber knocker. And in the game of the week, something we've all been waiting for. Didn't know it was going to happen, but it is. Right in your face hole. Adrian against Tyree will clash. 5-2 Adrian, 4-3 Tyree. Can Tyree pick up the dub to give them the same record? And then maybe they could do a fusion dance and become the same team again. We don't know, folks, but we'll see who the real manager of managers is, who should have held a bigger half of that title 2 years ago, folks, in this epic confrontation. Meanwhile, you have Ricky G playing against Freddy. Freddy the Vagabond, who knows where he is right now, wandering the hills of Mexico as he attempts to pick up a dub against Ricky G in another divisive matchup, a 4-3 and a 3-4. A maker or breaker, folks, that's for sure. Dick is real thirsty now. Steven Naramore, meanwhile, will go up against Crystal. These two teams have been slipping. Can they get a foothold and claw their way back up to prevalence to the top of the mountain? 5-2s, folks. A win here is going to put them in prime playoff position. A loss will drop them to the rest of the pack. It's going to be huge, folks. And in an ineptitude game, folks, Matt Segovia versus Jay Sizzle. Who cares? The Professor against L. They both need big wins, folks. Who will take it? Oscar's been surging. L's been pooping. It's going to be a tight one. And last but not least, can Zach score more than 80, or does CJ just get an easy win and continue to be first place, baby? And now, before Dick dies, folks, here, Dick needs some liquids in his mouth, all in and around his mouth where Dick likes it, folks. Get those lineups in. Get the defenses in. Fuck's sake. Dick's out, baby.